So recently, there's been an influx of refugee children coming from Central America to escape violence. And they're met here in the U.S. with screaming conservatives looking to deport them, and Democrats who silently comply with the conservatives. Okay, yes, we'll do exactly what you want. Just, remember when Obama, the Democratic president, came out and said, oh, yeah, we should reverse the old George Bush law, which made it so that political refugees needed to have a hearing. They're like, no, let's reverse that, just deport them immediately. Well, thank you, progressive Democrat, for doing exactly what the fucking Republicans want to do. So there's another group of Americans that is looking to cash in on this crisis. From Think Progress, quote, share prices for two of the largest private prison firms have spiked sharply since an influx of unaccompanied migrant children crossing the border was reported this summer. And some investors in the GEO Group and the Corrections Corporation of America, which are the two biggest private prison companies in the country, are seizing on the opportunity for more profit from incarceration, according to recent comments to CNN Money. They continue, quote, investors see this as an opportunity. This is a potentially untapped market that will have very strong demand. That's a quote from activist investor Alex Friedman. Both firms, which house prisoners through private sector contracts with the government, have arrangements with federal agencies to detain immigrants. And since July 30th, the Corrections Corporation of America, their stock has risen 8.5%, and the GEO Group's stock has increased 7%. So investors are salivating over refugee children coming into the United States because what do they want to do with them? Lock them up for cash. See, the way it used to work is if somebody came over the border, you would immediately deport them, right? And then later on it became, okay, you give them, if it's a refugee, you give them a trial, and then you make a decision as what to do with them. Well, since we've increasingly moved in the direction of privatizing prisons in the U.S., now you have these private prisons viewing this as an opportunity to make more money. So they just want bodies to put in prison. So sometimes they'll take these immigrants who cross the border and they'll just lock them up and keep them locked up for months, maybe a year, and then later on they'll deport them. And why are they keeping them in prison for a few months or a year? Simply to make more money. Simply to rob the taxpayers. And I always found it hilarious that we called private prisons because they're taking government dollars. Private my ass. It's a fully socialist institution. You're taking tax dollars. Okay, the only difference is a private prison takes tax dollars and makes a profit for themselves, whereas regular prisons would take tax dollars and not have a large profit margin and not have shareholders and not have a perverse profit motive. I mean, think about it. Societies have understood forever that there are certain functions that you simply cannot privatize, and prisons is one of those things. Now, why is that? Because you have set up the worst imaginable incentive where you have one group of people wanting to lock up more people and wanting to make more things criminal because that's how they make their fucking money. So, of course, you're going to lobby the government to try to pass more laws, whether they're legitimate or illegitimate, because you simply want to lock more people up because that's how you get rich. So the perfect example of that is, a lot of people don't know this, 3 strike laws. 3 strike laws in California. You know where they came from? Lobbying from the private prison industry. They just decided 3 felonies, no matter how fucking small they are, whatever, lock you up, throw away the key because we make more money if we do that. I mean, mandatory minimums, same thing. A lot of the lobbying for that came from the private prison industry because they just want to lock more people up. This is the perfect example right here. You have poor little refugee immigrant children that escape Guatemala or Honduras because there's a drug war that we fucking caused happening there, and there's a high likelihood that they'll die, higher probability that they die there than if they were in Iraq at the height of the fucking war. And then they come to the U.S. looking to escape this madness, and what happens? They get locked up for cash. It's not even like, hey, we'll deport you in a safe and humane way. It's, hey, let's put you in a fucking jail cell for a year because we'll make some CEO rich and he'll enrich his stockholders also. This is beyond fucked up, man. We've totally lost our way. This is the crisis of privatization in the United States of America. Look, I get it. I'm not a revolutionary. I'm in favor of many industries being private. I'm in favor of capitalism. I think that there's some aspects of capitalism that we'll never get away from because human beings have certain tendencies naturally where we might be more greedy or more selfish and we want to get ahead of people. So a certain aspect of capitalism is welcome. If you're selling couches or video games or TVs, I don't want the government fucking making that. You should be able to make a profit off that and sell your product, and it's all good. I'm not angry about that. But when you have the profit motive leaking over into prisons, into the health insurance system, so there's an incentive to deny care as much as possible because that's how you make more money. When you have privatization leaking over into these areas, war, where typically it's been understood and historically it's been understood, bad idea, bad incentive, well then we've totally gone fucking nuts because there's nothing that's out of bounds now. Everything is open to debate and to discussion and to the greedy vulture capitalists to get rich off of other people's misery.